We get our first look at Diontae Johnson in a Ravens uniform. Lamar Jackson misses his second straight practice. The Ravens are extremely thin on the D-line this week. Keaton Mitchell's return is right around the corner. We are talking all that and more in today's episode of the Flock Rundown.
Ravens Flock. The Flock Rundown is the place to be.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.
Appreciate you, Ray. What's up, Ravens fans? My name is Ryan, and welcome back to another episode of the Flock Rundown. So Lamar Jackson has missed his second straight practice. Harbaugh spoke yesterday, said they were giving him a rest day. Injury report comes out. We got a knee and back listed on there. I'm not tripping out. I'm not stressed at all. Now, I might have a different conversation tomorrow if Lamar Jackson is still a DNP tomorrow, but I just think that it is truly rest. I know that they listed knee and back on the injury report. Harbaugh did confirm that he's sore, so they could just, he's got a sore knee, sore back. They're giving him some rest days, and then they put that on the injury report, and he's missed 2 days. We got 2 games coming up in a short span. Game against the Broncos on Sunday, division matchup, rematch against the Bengals on Thursday night. So quick turnaround. I really think that this truly is just some rest. Not saying Lamar's not sore or a little banged up. Everybody gets banged up throughout the season. I'm sure every single NFL player in the entire league is dealing with some kind of knee soreness or ankle soreness or shoulder or whatever. You know what I mean? There's things going on. So I'm not stressing this at all. I see a lot of people kind of freaking out on Twitter and whatnot, and I just think that it's premature. Now, if he misses the full week of practice, I'm still thinking he's going to play on Sunday. I don't think that there's any injury going on bad enough for him to not play against the Broncos on Sunday. I would like to see him back at practice tomorrow, because if Diontae Johnson does play this Sunday, I would like to get them some kind of practice, some kind of chemistry throwing to each other. Not sure if he's going to play on Sunday. I kind of think he will, just because he's already there in full practice, and we got our first look at Diontae Johnson. He's wearing number 18, which is going back to his old number with the Steelers and back to when he was in the AFC North before. It's really good to see Diontae Johnson out there practicing. He looks great. I don't think he's banged up. I know there were some injuries going on in Carolina or whatever, but he also wanted out. We kind of saw a similar situation with Davante Adams when he was a little banged up and he wasn't playing or practicing with the Raiders, and then all of a sudden he gets traded and he's ready to go. I think we're going to see something kind of similar with Diontae Johnson if the Ravens coaches decide to play him. Now, there is a chance that they just feel he's not caught up with the playbook enough and he'll play next Thursday, but I think he'll play this week. I just think he's too talented not to have out there. He's an NFL vet. I mean, he's got more experience than Zay and Bateman combined. So this is not a guy who doesn't know how to adapt to a playbook. He just went to Carolina. This was a new team. He had to learn a new offense. I think that he's equipped to step in and kind of know how to play in the NFL pretty quickly. I don't know how long he's going to need. Now, to learn the ins and outs of the entire Ravens offense and execute it without thinking, that's going to take a couple weeks probably. That's not something that happens overnight. But just to get him out there, run some simple routes, put him in some easier situations, I think that they could use him on Sunday. I would not be surprised if he's out there. And I love this Diontae Johnson move. We basically got him for free, and we're actually going to gain a pick. If he does leave, we're going to get a comp pick. So another 5th or 6th is coming back to us if he signs elsewhere, depending on the contract size. I saw a lot of negativity in the comments about this move, saying it wasn't a smart or genius move, or that we need a defensive player. And I totally agree that we need a defensive player. But the reason that this move was so smart is we got him for free. You don't want to take Diontae Johnson for free and add a comp pick probably when he leaves. So you're actually gaining a pick. You're net positing. You're getting Diontae Johnson, a proven wide receiver who can step in and add a lot of wide receiver depth to our room. And we only give up a 5th. We get their 6th, so we're only moving back a couple spots. And then if he leaves next year, we get a comp pick too. I mean, it's just a really smart move. We got a veteran wide receiver who can really separate and really help this team out, and we got him for free. So that's why it's such a smart move. But I'm not ignoring that we don't need a defensive player. We need a pass rusher and or a D lineman right now, an interior D lineman, because we are extremely thin. I mean, right now we only have Matabike practicing. That's the only healthy D lineman we have. Brent Urban's still in the concussion protocol. Travis Jones is still missing practice with his ankle. And Broderick Washington is missing practice. And we just put Michael Pierce on IR, so he's out for a month. So the Ravens are screaming for help at interior D-line right now. I could still see Travis Jones toughing it out and playing. He's been playing on that ankle, but that ankle is clearly not good. He is not the same player he was a few weeks ago because of that ankle. Now, we did sign veteran D-tackle Josh Tupou. That's more of a depth move, but he's been here before, and they obviously trust him to provide some depth there. He's a veteran in the league, so he's not going to come in and be clueless. So I think that is a good move. They obviously are trying to get as much help as possible. Now, we don't know if Broderick or Travis Jones are going to miss this game on Sunday, but not a great sign that they're missing practice. If Urban's still in the concussion protocol, we can count him out. Michael Pierce is obviously out. So the interior of our D-line is as weak as it's been all season long, and we're not getting any pass rush anyway. So it's definitely a problem. It's definitely a problem. I would say that's the biggest issue with the Ravens team in general right now is that D-line, the interior D-line injuries and the lack of pressure from the edge. We're going to need to make a trade and get some help. I think it's fair to acknowledge that we still need to make some moves to improve the defense and talk about that, but also celebrate how smart of a move acquiring Diontae Johnson was. Both can be had. Now, if we don't make any moves by the trade deadline on Tuesday, then yeah, I'm not feeling confident about this defense, and we definitely need to make some moves. I think we will make some moves, but that doesn't disregard the fact that this Diontae Johnson move was an all-time steal. I mean, it is what it is. It was a steal, and I can't wait to see him out there with Lamar. Our secondary should be getting quite a bit of lift from last week. We had Marlon Humphrey and Nate Wiggins return to practice yesterday. They've been practicing today as well, and then we had Arthur Millette return to practice today too. So corners who were out last week are back, so that should help a ton. I know we're not probably going to get a ton of pressure or push from the defensive line, but at least having Marlon Humphrey, Nate Wiggins back there is going to be a big difference from just Jalen Armour-Davis and Brandon Stevens, because they were definitely able to pick on Jalen Armour-Davis a bit last week, and now he's immediately pushed down to the fourth or fifth corner. So I think that our corner situation's looking a lot better. Not saying that's going to lift our defense to a dominant performance, because we're still going to lack that rush. And I even question our ability to stop the run a little bit in this game with how banged up we are on the D-line. But it's better than last week, getting Marlon Humphrey and Nate Wiggins back there. I'd much rather have them back there and trust them in their one-on-one matchups more than what we had the previous week. So I think the defense does get a lift. Am very concerned about the D-line, though. I think that is a big situation right now. The depth of our D-line, the health of our D-line, and just the pass rush in general. That's a huge question for the Ravens right now that needs fixed, that needs answered. And we have until Tuesday to bring in some more help. Moving on to Keaton Mitchell. He's been practicing in full, no knee brace. He's moving around great out there, and I think this return is very close. I don't know about this Sunday, but maybe for Thursday night against the Bengals, I could see Keaton Mitchell playing. And then that brings up the question of what exact role does he have? We haven't seen Keaton Mitchell in this Ravens offense with a Derrick Henry and Justice Hill. Justice Hill early in their season was heavily involved as a change of pace back and as a receiving back. And then these last few weeks, we've seen those targets and numbers go down a bit, and he's been more there for pass protection. I see Keaton Mitchell stepping in and doing a lot of the things that Justice Hill was doing earlier in the season as a change of pace back, as a receiving back. I think that Keaton Mitchell could thrive. Switching from Derrick Henry to Keaton Mitchell is going to be a problem. It's a lot of power and speed on the field. And adding a Keaton Mitchell and a Diontae Johnson to already a top 3 offense in the NFL is going to be pretty special. It really makes us insanely dynamic and multiple. I feel like we're going to be able to attack defenses however we want. The weakness of the offense at the moment is still the offensive line, and I'm not saying they're terrible. I'm just saying when we go against talented fronts, we could see the offensive line struggle a lot more. They were letting up a lot more pressures against the Browns last week than we've seen in previous weeks. So I think that's going to be our struggle on offense, if anything, but this offense is ridiculously talented. season. And there's no reason that if teams start to bring a lot of pressure, we can't just have a lot of quick answers. Run some quick crossers or short curls with the tight ends or slants with the receivers out in space if we're getting a lot of pressure, or dump it off to Justice Hill or Keaton Mitchell. These are answers that I feel like we can attack the blitz with, and we really should have an answer to anything that a defense is trying to do. I'm excited to watch this offense add these weapons and progress over the year, especially as we go down the stretch here. I don't know how many of these weapons are going to be playing this Sunday against the Broncos, but I bet you we see some new faces against the Bengals next Thursday. We've been wearing those new helmets. I'm also going to that Thursday night game against the Bengals. Can't wait to see those helmets in person. Can't wait to get a night game under my belt. I haven't been to a game yet this year, so if you guys are going, if any of you are going to that Ravens-Bengals game, let me know. Say what's up. But that's it for today, guys. Waiting on some trade news. It's coming any day now. It's got to come by next Tuesday. And I appreciate you guys, as always, for tuning in to another episode of the Flock Rundown. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll let the greatest linebacker in the history of the game take us out.
Ravens flock. The flock rundown is the place to be. My man Ryan has been a lifelong Ravens fan since he was born. The flock rundown. Nothing gets better than waking up and wondering how high we can fly. Tune in.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense.